Happy Saturday. I'm meteorologist Nicole Hartford. We saw quite a bit of wintry weather Friday across North Georgia that resulted in some good snowfall accumulation. We had anywhere from 1 to about 4 inches across most of North Georgia. Some of the higher totals were around that 4-inch mark in Austell. We also had a 4-inch total off towards Stone Mountain, and Alpharetta picked up an inch. Noonan also an inch. Somerville 2 inches, and then Carrollton just under 2 inches. In Midtown, we had 2 inches of snow accumulation and then 2¼ inches in the Smyrna area, 3½ in Kirkwood. That snowfall came mainly in the early morning hours on Friday, and then as temperatures warmed up throughout the morning, transitioned into more of a wintry mix of sleet and freezing rain. And that's when we started to introduce our freezing rain or our ice totals, which in many locations ranged from 1/10 of an inch up to 1/4 of an inch. Some of the higher spots near 1/4 of an inch, Alpharetta, Johns Creek, as well as Dahlonega, Jasper, Sandy Plains, and Dalton. That freezing rain as well as that snowfall was widespread across North Georgia, and it was our first snow total in the Atlanta metro area above 1 inch since 2018. Our official total in Atlanta came out at just over 2 inches of snowfall with 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain. And freezing rain totals, ice accumulation of those amounts can have pretty big impacts. Once you see 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulation, that creates a light glaze on roads and sidewalks, leads to slick bridges, as well as coated windshields and isolated power outages. Once you get up to 1/4 of an inch of ice, roads are icier, tree limbs are more likely to sag and eventually break, and then it also leads to numerous power outages. Once you get up to that 1/2 inch range of ice, that's when the ice really becomes crippling when it comes to travel as well as power impacts. We saw a number of downed trees as well as power outages because of the ice. And while ice will become less of an issue throughout the day today, breezier winds throughout the morning hours could lead to additional downed trees, especially ones still coated in ice, as well as isolated power outages. Winds will stay breezy throughout the day today, but start to get a little bit lighter as we go into the afternoon hours. We're talking wind gusts maybe in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range, but that is still strong enough to bring down any trees or power lines that are weighed down by ice. All of the precipitation associated with this storm system now well down towards our south. We're left with some cloud cover, and while I'm not going to rule out a couple raindrops, maybe a flurry in far north Georgia today, we are drying out for the remainder of the weekend, which will allow the lingering snow, slush, and ice to begin to melt across the area. Our forecast track does show some clearing by this afternoon, a little more sunshine introduced into the forecast, but unfortunately that sunshine won't really help much when it comes to temperatures. We will stay chilly all day today. In fact, your highs are only going to get up into the mid to maybe upper 30s. I'm forecasting a high of 37 degrees in Atlanta. It's about 15 degrees below our seasonal averages. Up towards the North Georgia mountains, there will be some spots that either just barely make it up to the freezing point or stay right around that 32-degree mark all day. Now, these temperatures are warm enough to help melt a lot of the lingering slush as well as ice and snow still accumulated on the ground and yes, on the roadways across North Georgia, but there will likely still be some slick spots later tonight. That said, as far as road conditions go, they'll improve throughout the day today. It'll be wet through most of the day as we see a lot of that lingering precipitation melting, but overnight tonight, even colder air moves in. So temperatures drop down into the teens, right around 20 degrees by the time you're waking up on Sunday morning. It is going to get cold quick tonight. And if there is still some wet roads or some slick spots, that could easily lead to some black ice development overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So hopefully those temperatures warm enough today to really melt and get rid of a lot of the lingering slush and ice we have across North Georgia. Low temperature Sunday will be cold. It is a hard freeze with temperatures falling down into the teens across much of the area. We may manage to hold on to that 20-degree mark in Atlanta, but even with a light breeze, this is going to feel like the teens as well as the single digits. And this is just the start of colder air across our area. Those overnight low temperatures will hover in the 20s throughout this entire week. So we'll see some fluctuations fluctuation here and there, a little milder by Monday morning, but the cold air really not going anywhere, and we'll continue to run about 10 to 15 degrees below average when it comes to those overnight lows and even for our highs for the foreseeable future. A little bit of warming will take place through the end of the weekend and into the start of the week as we bring back sunshine. So although Sunday starts off very cold, more sun in the forecast will allow for high temperatures to get up into the low 40s, and we're into the mid to upper 40s by Monday. Our 7-day forecast looks like a quiet one. So yes, we have more sunshine. Yes, we have the cold air, but we're not too worried about any type of rain or snow in that 7-day forecast. We may introduce the possibility for a few showers come Friday. Overnight lows still hover right around 30 degrees, but rain chances at this point look low. We'll continue to monitor that. It doesn't look like we'll escape the cold air anytime soon, though. Our long range temperature outlook, this takes us 8 to 14 days out, still has likely cooler than average temperatures, not just across North Georgia, but for most of the continental U.S.